Do you ever wonder what to do in the kitchen? The kitchen makeover. You're starting a new diet and it's time to go to the kitchen and clean it out. Well, that's what I'm talking about on today's podcast. This is episode 143. I'm with my men's group, the Roundtable of the Call to Rise. It's my 100-day fat loss challenge for guys, for fathers, for men that need to lose 20 plus pounds and get in better health and manage their blood sugar levels and show up as real fathers that lead their family and their kids, and they are able to leave a legacy. That's super important in my world of what I do and how I go about this. And one of the big underlying reasons of Driven for Health podcast to be an extension of this. So tonight in the roundtable, we discussed the kitchen makeover, how to go about it, what are the rules to that game, how do we play it, and man, I went full tilt. So you're going to get to a level of understanding of what we do inside the Call to Rise. It's like a peek behind the curtain in a sense. So I hope that you enjoy this episode. It's a mega amount of teaching, so definitely pull out a pen and get ready to write or type or pause or whatever, because I go in deep on coaching, teaching, and all. We do open up with a fun, silly connector. That's an important part of being in a brotherhood, of being around like-minded individuals, to create community in a sense that the camaraderie and the competitiveness in a good way, not like we're going against each other or anything, but we compete in a positive way to improve our health, our body weight, our lives. And so we open up with a silly question, and then we get into the meat and potatoes of the coaching. And there's a lot of golden nuggets in there that you would hear from me just literally coaching forever. Now, if you stick to the end and you check out the show notes, if you just email me at my email, brian@brianparana.com, and you want the kitchen makeover guide, I will literally just send it over in a reply email, and you can have it. And that will allow for you to get the access for that thing that we talk about. If you watch it in the video, you'll be able to see the actual PDF. I believe Spotify would be the best choice to do that. And if someone else, you listen to this thing and someone else needs this to help like reboot their progress and the kitchen makeover would make sense for them, share this with them. So that's off we go for this episode of Driven for Health 143. Welcome to tonight's roundtable. Excited to have you guys. And as an opening, we'll just do a fun, silly question just to get this thing going, get to know each other a little bit more. And that's important because a lot of conversations I'm having with guys, especially two of them today on the podcast, centered around men's communities. One was with Mr. U, and he is a men's roundtable series it's going to be on YouTube. I'm actually on his podcast. It got released July 30th. And then on Nikki Ballou, who has The Sovereign Man. He was episode 135. And then I will be on a future episode here in the next week or two, talking about health and brotherhood and leadership with being a father in a sense. So especially for your kids and stepping up into that if you have kids, right? Now, a simple, silly question to ask for the group today is going to be, what is one memory of a summer night you have from your childhood youth? One that comes to my mind is going to the drive-ins and had like Predator and probably another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie as well. Or it was like Predator and an Alien or something like that. I remember that, going to it, and we would get popcorn and I'd try and stay up. I think I stayed up most of the time in my younger years, but as an adult going to the drive-in, I end up like falling asleep with my kids, and everyone's falling asleep, and we wake up at 1 a.m. or something, laying awkwardly on the ground with like bags or bean bags or chairs or whatever. And you're like, my neck hurts. And we stopped doing that. And we just watch movies in our backyard now with a big screen and a projector, which is way nicer. So I would highly advocate that than trying to stay up till 1 or 2 or something and at drive-ins. But drive-ins are still a lot of fun. So that's one for me. All right, we'll go Dominic. You're the first person I see in the rotation here.
Yeah, for me, it was just bonfires at the beach.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you live in the East Coast, so you had the Atlantic.
Jersey Shore. Yep, I did
Yeah,
Atlantic.
yeah. That's awesome. The time that we had some fires at the beach were in actually in Washington and Oregon, on some of those beaches. They're a little bit more rocky and stuff, and way colder weather in a sense. But man, that would be really nice. Very, very nice. Brent, what's a fun childhood memory?
Yeah, I guess the first thing I thought about was 4th of July when I was a kid. We would walk down to the end of the street when it got dark, and um, all the neighbors would come together and be a big party. And my dad would make homemade ice cream, and we'd watch fireworks
Oh,
out
man,
across the field. It's pretty cool.
dude, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. I like that. That's really cool. All right, what we got for we got some new people coming in. Taekwon, Ryan, and Chris. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you guys. We're just doing a silly question to open up the call. What's one childhood memory that comes to mind that was really good? We got bonfires on the beach. We've got homemade ice cream on 4th of July's, watching fireworks. Mine was trying to stay up late to uh, drive-ins with Alien, Predator, and stuff like that. We've got next up is Joe.
The favorite childhood memories is cookouts with the extended family, and my mom would make homemade Butterfinger ice cream. And I still feel like to this day it's probably the best ice cream I've ever had.
Yeah, right. Nice, some homemade ice cream. So we made homemade ice cream this winter in the snow because it was pretty darn cold here, and you'd have a bowl in the snow, and we used snow, and you just kept whipping and whipping, and finally at some point we had ice cream and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. That's cool. I like it a lot. All right, next up is we've got Dax.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Favorite childhood memory?
Yeah, summer memories. Summer.
Trips to Sanibel Island with my family.
Sanibel. Okay. Very nice. What's one thing on Sanibel that just is like boom?
The fresh seafood
Oh,
right out of the ocean.
nice. Was this like
Yeah.
seafood buffet or was this like
No, there was a restaurant down there out on one of the inlets, and we got my grandpa, his doctor. He was really good friends with his family doctor, and he let us stay at his big condo down there for free every year.
nice?
And there was a crab place right on the water, and they brought that stuff in right out of the ocean. I just remember eating pounds and pounds of it all week long.
Oh
It was
yeah,
great. Yeah, it was great.
that is what's up.
Yeah.
Nice. And then Taekwon, what's one good childhood memory? Summer. Hit the unmute.
There you go.
There it is.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, mine would probably be just like everybody else, spending time at the shore, my family.
Nice.
Yeah, we're down, we call it Savin Rock. So we would go down there. It's a place that used to call Chick, be called Chicks in West Haven. That was probably my favorite childhood memory. My grandmother used to bring us there when we were little. So it's probably, and the beach was right across the street, so we would go there.
Nice. I spent about 13 years going to Myrtle Beach every summer. So I spent a lot of time in the ocean there. And for my family, we actually killed the beach. We've gone to all sorts of different beaches all over the Gulf Coast, the Atlantic, down all the way up, and the kids are just kind of tired of going to the beach, so we have to find more adventurous stuff. I've taken my family, you know, to all 50 states, multiple countries, continents. So we have been to like Clearwater Beach like 15 times or something alone. And so the kids are beached out right now until they get maybe older and can see it in a different viewpoint and stuff. So, the boil over point was Panama City Beach. The second time we went down, it was going to be a lot of fun. And my oldest just threw basically a temper tantrum at age 12, 13. And it's like, this is no fun. And I just want to stay in the room and I'm going to play video games and just this being a grump. So, Levi, oh, you All right, Ryan, it's one good one. And Ryan's new to the game here. So he's an old client, but he's new. And he's the one firing up. It's this guy here that's firing up the community. So you guys might want to play catch up here. So he's bombing, he's dropping bombs in there. I'm just going to say this: the more that you put out there and give to me, the more you're going to get out of me. It's just literally how it is. It's like I'm the teacher and you're my student. You raise your hands, like I have to call on you and I have to answer your questions. So the more you ask, the more you engage. I would encourage sharing in the actual community pictures of food, because then I can comment and everyone can see what you're eating. And then everyone can see like what the comments are about how this is good, what we could make different. And a lot of you guys are going to literally just step up and raise the game because you're literally posting and causing yourself to be accountable to what you put on your plate and ultimately what in your mouth. So you can still message me and stuff, but I would definitely encourage sharing it in the group, because it forces accountability and it forces you to do what you're supposed to do. And I can like 99.9% guarantee, as much as I could guarantee, that you'll probably get better results week in and week out if you do that too. Absolutely. Because you just like, I don't want to put this out there if it's just like a bag of chips or something. I literally brought a guy on, and he's not in the group. He wasn't appropriate for it, but there's really massive digestion issues and stuff. And the dude was eating a bag of chips a day. He had like 5,000 milligrams. He had Hashimoto's and autoimmune issues. I'm like, dude, what are we doing here, man? This is not it. Oh, man. So I digress, but I will throw that out there. The more you engage, the more you're going to get back. And then I threw it in the group tonight because I was looking for forms to review and see what the heck is on your guys' plate and what's going on. And there was only one form filled out. So mark it on your calendar, put it on an alarm. I don't care what you do. Fill it out Tuesday or fill it out Wednesday. Please don't fill it out at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday night, Eastern, so that I'm not scrambling trying to like put 10 things together before. But it's a signal to me about what we need to talk about. And the more in-depth that it is, the better coaching you're going to get. If you're like, things are okay, what does that mean? I don't know. And I have to ask you 8 questions or something to figure that out. So let's just be open, honest, and vulnerable and just share the good, the bad, the indifferent, or whatever. So then, and we just get to the truth of the matter, right? So boom. All right, Ryan, you're up.
Hiking in New Mexico with my dad. We did Philmont, New Mexico, in a Boy Scout trip. 10 days of backpacking in the deep mountains. Definitely one of my favorite memories.
Oh, that's awesome. I took my kids to Carson National Park in Taos. We did lunch with llamas. We hiked up about 2 miles in to Carson with llamas, and we had lunch, and then we were just like, it was great. We had Machu Picchu, and we had Pika, and like all these funny names for Dali for the llamas, and it was just a blast. So hopefully my kids remember that later on a random question like this. So awesome. Chris, what's one good childhood memory? And we're jumping in. Yeah, you got to unmute. Almost. I'm gonna see if I can unmute you. I don't know if I can or not. I cannot unmute someone. It's a Google thing. Somewhere on that app, there's
So you click on the U, and then it pops. Wait, it's actually on the bottom of your screen. When you look at it, there's going to be a mic on the bottom of your screen,
there it is. A mic on the bottom of the screen.
right next to the camera button and a little emoji button.
Yeah, there we go. He's spoken on this, so we know that he knows how to unmute.
To piggyback off what you said, Brian, about in being super, like, I held myself accountable last night, even though I did not want to. I took a quarter piece of bread off of a piece of bread. I was like, all right, Brian, I'm eating this. And it still fit my macros, but like if it's going in my mouth, it's going in a picture. And when you and I worked together years ago, like it worked. Like the accountability and the constant, it feels like nagging, but it's not. It's just constant communication, constant accountability.
Mm-hmm. In our world, I am this is what we're focusing on, right? This is what we're coming together is getting you healthy. Anything that gets in the way of us making those accomplishing those goals is a distraction. Your work is a distraction, your relationships are a distraction, your whatever else you want to do is a distraction from us getting from where you're at to where you want to go. That's the basic. Just like at work, you go to work and your boss says, this is what we're doing, this is what needs done, and this is what we're going to accomplish, and boom, no worries, Chris. This is what happens, right? And if you don't agree to those terms, then at some point you get fired, right? Like they're like, I'm sorry, but your reviews, like you're not a good employee in a sense. Or if you own a business and you say this and you got to get to here, but you never do, you go out of business, right? And then like say with your wife or your partner, your spouse, hey, here's our relationship. You're a workaholic. You're spending too much time at work. It creates friction, right? So we have all these different like bosses that we're trying to serve in a sense. And so I'm just another, say, boss in a sense, but we're doing this. We have to overcome the challenges that you have and the situations that you have because this is your life. It's never going to end. It's never going to slow down. It's never going to change or evolve until you change and evolve and change the approach at which you go about the things and how you operate on a day-to-day basis. And I literally have dealt with people for 20 some years, how to navigate that. We want to make sure we can overcome those things. And it's just about open honesty and connection so that we're just like, hey, this is my truth. These are my challenges. Here's my strengths. Here are my weaknesses. And then let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. And it's literally that. And then we start figuring out. And we just do the scientific method. We're going to test, we're going to observe, and we're going to retest so that you understand how to do it and understand what is working or not. Example on the macros. So Ryan and I have done macros in the past. I have a guy that I had worked with just recently, and his name's Pablo. And I sent it in the group yesterday, but the dude said his pants were falling down at the urinal. He had to catch them on the way down to the floor. They would have fallen off. And in the first week or two, we had like growing pain, getting started pains, like nothing really changed. But the dude was locked in. I mean, he was to the point gram, like 1 gram off all the time. Now the dude's it does help that he's a NASA scientist. So he's a little nerdy and a little bit analytical, you know what I mean? So like being specific and an engineer brain, he's just like, I got to be dialed in. And you don't have to be that dialed in a sense of, if you're tracking your macros, that's going to be the ultimate way to figure this out. Certainly not everyone has to track macros to be able to accomplish their goals, but some people do and other people don't have to, and they still have wild results. It's just the way it is. But so with him, we started around like 2,900 because we had prior information because he'd been tracking before we met on how to actually change and evolve in that situation to lose weight in the past. Well, we started there and then we went to 2,700 and kind of lost weight, but not really. And I was like, okay, dude, we're going to go to 24. So we dropped 300 more calories. So it was like a 400 calorie difference down daily. And then we haven't moved since for weeks. And the dude's down 20 some pounds and his pants are falling off. And he's just like, I can't believe it. I finally feel like springy again and like athletic again. And my buddies, my bros, he's got some guys around him, that roommates and stuff. It's like, oh man, they're like, dude, what's going on? And like, it just like all this stuff. So the level of specificity and engagement. And I'm like, this dude sent me pictures of what he ate and the macros of what those meals were for every single meal for about 5 weeks straight. So I got like 18 texts from the dude every day. But guess what? I barely hear from him now because he's locked and loaded and he's crushing it, and we just don't need to engage it much. So there are seasons of times where we have to lock in, we have to have a lot of engagement, and there's seasons of times that we don't necessarily need to, but I will always encourage engagement. All right, let's get into what we're going to talk about tonight, the kitchen makeover. And it's like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to start teaching a lot more in these things so that there's just a lot more education and stuff going on, because I have a lot of content. It's been talked about a couple times, like Chris Haley. It's like, man, he's got a lot there and it's hard to consume. So if we go through a piece every week, then you guys consume it while we do it. And that is helpful. So I'm going to actually share this as we go. It is a downloadable piece here inside the app. I just put it in there before we started so you can actually download it and follow along. All right, this is on module 2. There are 16 modules with about 5 to 7 pieces of content each. So do some quick math. 16 times 5 at the very least. Those are videos or PDFs that there's a lot of resources for you to learn. Now, remember, on the very first call, we had the first call prep video. That's the most important, the basics of everything that I'm ever going to share and go back to. So if you guys need a refresher, go back and watch the first call prep video. Ask me for the link. I will text it straight over to you. I've got it on a text shortcut, and I'll populate that thing, send it straight over so that you can learn real quick what the heck it is, or refresh, right? Oftentimes we need reminded more than we need taught. So none of the things that we're going over are hard. It's just that they are just unknown in a sense. So here comes Ming. Well, we need to congratulate Ming. He's got a baby now. All right, so let's take him out. So he's coming in here. Ming, congrats, dude. Nice to see you. He's still alive a week into being a new dad. So everyone give him a round of applause, thumbs up. Welcome to the club. Most of us,
thank you all.
Others, and you're joining a club.
Yeah. Good to see you all.
Yeah. He's a little tired, and he understands what changing 10 diapers in a day feels like.
I'm
now.
Still on survivor mode.
Yep. So congrats. Introduce your new little one, please.
Yeah, so my daughter Haley was born last Saturday, and I've been taking a few days off from work and just turning into full-time diaper changers in the last few days. And still trying to get used to my new roles and my new responsibilities. But it's been a really exciting journey.
Oh yeah. It'll get way more exciting. So I'm teaching my second one to drive. So like it's more fun by the week. So awesome. Congrats. And make sure you lean on me. I've been down the road 4 different times over a course of 8 years. So I think I have some skills and knowledge and abilities. And I was in the diaper club for 10 years, man. So diapers and baby cribs and all that stuff for literally a decade. So, all right, let's jump into the kitchen makeover. Ming, you can download it inside the men's group in the community. I just posted it there. And as I reinforced with everyone, I would encourage a lot more engagement in there. Ryan's leading the charge here, so I dare someone to I'll communicate Ryan in there to really learn and understand what you guys are doing and stuff. So, all right, kitchen makeover. Here we go. Create your own healthy kitchen. Research shows us that our environment affects our eating habits more than we think. There's 250 food decisions a day. Do you want coffee or tea? Do you want caffeine or decaf? Like, forget forget the decaf, right? What are we eating for this time of day or that time? Oh, there's a candy jar laying around the house or whatever and stuff, or at the job or whatnot. So these are all real things that happen, and we make a ton of choices just matter of fact. And the whole point of going back to that first call prep video is that we stop making random food choices and we start making intentional choices with, okay, I have about this many calories as my budget for the day. I have about this many times, 3 to 4-ish times in a day that I'm putting food in my mouth. I'm spending that calorie budget. I have an approximate amount of food, 400 to 600 calories on average. I've got about 200-ish calories of a protein-ish. I have about 150 calories of a fibrous carb and about 200 calories of a starchy carb. That would be a balanced meal. Does it matter what I put into those? Not really. Like all you guys on here are eating differently, but you're still making results. And that's the point, is because we're working on nutrition most importantly, and not just some random food thing, or you guys would literally be eating the same things. And like, that's just not fun. Especially for some person that we have some plant-based folks in here, and we got some other people doing other things and have other conditions that don't fit a cookie cutter approach. So it wouldn't work. So we don't do it. So most of our decisions have nothing to do with hunger. And one of you, I won't call anyone out, but one is like, I'm not hungry to eat now. Well, just a little known fact, guys, I don't operate off of hunger. I never eat if I'm hungry or not. That's not the main decision of why I eat food. I look at my schedule and like, hey, I have time right here. I probably should eat because I don't have a lot of time until then. And that literally is how I think. And going through just the basics of what we shared is how my brain operates around how I decide what goes in my mouth. And I have food prepared. Like that's not my kitchen on this image. That's not my fridge. That's way too organized for a family of 6, first and foremost. But I go in there and I look at what's available, and then I build off of these blocks that we have: the protein, the fibrous carb, the starchy carb, and an amount. I forgot to take a picture, and I was going to, of lunch today. It was chicken breast that I cooked 3 days ago, 2 baked potatoes, smaller ones that were baked 2 or 3 days ago, and then a fresh pineapple that was chopped up today. So that was my lunch in a sense. So I had about 6 ounces of protein, 2 small baked potatoes, and some of that with the chicken juice and some red pepper flakes. It was delicious, and it kept me full for like 4 hours, and I was good. And I was like, I better eat again because I'm gonna get on a bicycle. And I rode for an hour 15 minutes shortly before we got onto this call because I needed to get my cardio going for the marathon. So we don't need to operate off of hunger. I'm just curious, any one of you, is that how you would determine if you should eat food or not? Like, we can raise our hands, or I don't know if there's a thumb emoji or whatever. There we go. We got one, we got a hand raised, we got one's like, well, I'm hungry, I should eat now. Like, that's not really the best approach to do it. We go back off of, I have this many calories to eat. These are the times of the day that works best. So then we don't fall victim to, oh, I'm really hungry and it's been 6 hours of time without food and I'm going to eat whatever I can. So that's literally what the first law is right here, right? The first law is, if food is in your possession and or near you, you will eventually eat it, right? Due to proximity. Literally, humans are proximity creatures. We look around what's closest to us, especially in a time of hunger. You just end up wanting to eat and grab the thing. So who wants to share one thing that they would grab in a famished, hunger, tired, fatigued state? Who wants to jump off and say, yeah, this is the thing that I go to first?
I mean, right now, I just grabbed pineapple and Greek yogurt, 1.5 cups, and then 3.5 grams pineapple. I mean, last night for me, I think I messaged you. I was like, dude, I find myself being hungry, but because I used to eat so much whenever I wanted. So lately I've been breaking down my meals. I'm like, okay, I need to have X amount of protein, X amount of. So last night I'm laying in bed. I'm like, well, crap, it's 10:30 p.m. I finished eating my sweet potatoes and everything last night. I was like, dude, I'm still super hungry. So today, after this, I'm going to go down to the store. I'm going to grab me some rice cakes, and I'm just going to do some, if I'm in a pinch like that, if I need to go a little over my calories, I'm going to have a rice cake and some cottage cheese. Be
Yeah,
cool with
well,
that and not beat myself up.
yeah, totally not. Rice cakes are 35 calories unless they're drizzled in sugar, like the caramel kind. Then the calories start to multiply there, right? Or popcorn. Air pop popcorn is 30 calories in a cup. If you all want a popcorn text, I got one. That ends up being the running joke. You got a text for that? Yes, I actually do. So popcorn text, if you want it, just let me know and I can text it over to you. Just DM me popcorn and I'll pop it over to you. So with that, what we have is next. Brian, let's go back like 2 weeks ago before you were thinking about reaching out to me and getting started. What would you grab in a very hungry state?
Either I would order a pizza, or I would go into my freezer, grab some frozen. Like the other day, I thought I was being healthy, and I grabbed sweet teriyaki chicken from Sam's Club, and turns out that has a buttload of fat in it, and more carbs than I imagined, and it tastes great, but it was dense in calories.
The teriyaki sauce, probably too, right?
Yeah. So, and then I'd make a bunch of rice, and then I would cook the rice in a bunch of oil, like reminding, like, it was funny. As soon as I called you, I was like, crap, dude, I know the math here. I know the calories here. It's like, for instance, last night or was it last night or the night before, when I made those baked potatoes, they were cooking in the air fryer with no oil. I was like, I opened it. I was like, oh, this looks kind of crappy. So I took a quarter.
Quick, guys, you don't need oil in the air fryer. It literally fries with the air. So please don't put oil in them, because in our fat loss phase, we're trying to cut calories and be in a calorie deficit. Reducing oil is a very calorie multiplier. And if you're not measuring it, it's 200 calories probably that you just poured all over that food. And that moves us away from what our targets are, in a sense. Now, if you allotted for it and it's part of the day, okay, cool. But just know that 200 calories of olive oil or 7 cups of broccoli, which one's going to keep you full longer? And our goal is to stay full on less calories. So for Brian here, I'm going 7 cups of broccoli. Forget the oil. I'll be all right. I'll get fat in some other foods. So just want to throw that out as a little insight and thing to manage there.
For sure. I did measure it out. I checked my Fitness Pal. I was like, okay, I still have X amount of calories of, I still have X amount of fat I still need to reach. I still have X amount of calories, and I was able to make it fit. So I've measured it out. I did a 1/4 tablespoon of olive oil. I took my paintbrush and did a light paint on it. And it added a little bit more depth to it, but I did want to make sure I hit my fat goals.
Yeah.
For the day as well.
If you need it, then that's fine. I would prefer to eat peanut butter over having olive oil. So just saying, that's how I'm going to fat, or I'm going to have an avocado in there instead of oil. Why? Because I would enjoy that a lot more. I would find it more filling and more satiating and higher quality of vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. And that's how I'm thinking about it. So there we go. We finally got Ryan to admit he's grabbing a pizza, and I would too. If I'm hungry and I'm driving home after a late shift or something, and there it is, I'm going to ring them up and say, hey, I'll be over in 10 minutes, and pick it up and chow down. Just so you know, a large pizza is 2,000 some calories. An average slice is about 300 to 400, depending on what's on it. Unless you go thin crust, and it's more like 200, but you get the gist. It's still a lot of calories. All right. So we need to make it easy to eat well by having healthy and nutritious foods close and in hand and easy to consume. All right. And then we want the damaging foods farther away. A good example of this is I had there's a gentleman a couple years ago. We talked about how strategies to avoid eating in the kitchen at night, like not just like 9 p.m., but like 2 a.m. He would wake up and wander in there and start putting food in his face. Just guys, so you know, in general, when it's dark outside of winter, like shift of that, right? At 5 o'clock, like that doesn't count, 5 p.m., right? When it's dark out. But in normal time, in general, when it's dark out, we probably shouldn't be eating. We don't need food or calories or energy unless you had actually planned for it and you had less calories in a day. But in general, just a rule of thumb, go back to the 1950s having, I'm done by 6. Like, great. And then we could just move on with doing something else with your night than putting food in your mouth again. So, because you'll wake up in the morning, you'll eat breakfast in a sense, and then you'll get on with your day. And that's an easy way to control calories. So, well, going back to this, the guy would eat, he would put up caution tape. He literally went out and bought yellow caution tape and pasted it over his door frame in the kitchen. It was hilarious. He sent me a picture of it. And what was it? It was a pattern interrupt. That's what Brian is. That's everything that we're trying to do, is get you to break your old patterns by pausing, slowing down, and thinking through, what the heck am I doing here? And why am I doing this? So that I can then make a better choice, which is the AIM principle. Am I moving toward my health goals or away from them? Super important there. So he puts this up, and then it is a pause, because he will run into it at 2 a.m. if he wanders in, and then it will hopefully startle him and say, wow, what am I doing here? I need to turn around and go back to bed, right? If not, if he ends up eating like 400 calories of peanut butter, because I've had people do that, then guess what? That goes off your calorie tab for the next day. Like, sorry, Charlie, you woke up with 400 calories less than where you're at. So good luck with like 12 or 1400 calories today, because that's all you got because of your shenanigans at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So we'd have to do that. And if any of you are struggling with like midnight, late night, the early morning eating or something, we need to address that to figure it out. So why the kitchen makeover? Well, it gets rid of non-nutritious stuff, right? We want to avoid it. Now, I'm not necessarily advocating for, hey, let's go in and clear the whole kitchen out. Example, I had someone that got $1,000 worth of Jenny Craig meals. All right. Like, I don't, they must have had a sale or something. Like, why would you ever buy that much? It was like literally 2 weeks worth of food. And they were like, Brian, could we not throw that away? I was like, yeah, that's smart. We don't want to just waste money, time, energy, food in a sense. Now, if y'all know what Jenny Craig meals look like, they're not the healthiest or most nutritious or any of that stuff, right? It's just not a fun meal per se, but it is a portion control meal that you, in quotations, don't have to think about. But guess what? That therein lies the problem. When you're done with Jenny Craig and you're like, well, how do I cook food? Well, you never learned that skill when you're going through this process of eating their food, and now you're hooked on eating their food forever or something because you don't know how to cook and prepare your own stuff. So we ended up just looking at the nutrition label and assessing what were the needs and how do we balance them out. And basically, most of them really consisted of possibly adding more protein and definitely adding 2 cups of vegetables. And then they're like, oh, okay, then I'll eat the Jenny Craig meals and be done with it. And then we cleared them out, and then we got on to more normal behavior around eating food in a manageable way. So that's super important. All right. So the kitchen makeovers help get you planned, more prepared, more structured, and we don't have to go home for like the food war zone in sense of what modern society has. And like, who in here, to raise a hand, has a junk drawer? Does anyone have a junk food drawer or pantry or something like that that's got like the little Debbie's or something in it? Yeah, we got some people. The shake is. I hope that it's not for the kids. that wouldn't be good, right? Because if you wouldn't want to eat it, why are you letting your kids eat it? And in general, of course, like my kids eat things that I don't eat, and I would prefer not. We actually go way out of our way to avoid a lot of garbage food in our house. We don't have a junk drawer or something. We don't have bags of chips or Debbie's or whatever, and because it doesn't make sense to. And unfortunately, the school system that they go to has way too much of it. So much so that I can't even justify taking my kids out for ice cream on a random day because they probably already had 400 to 600 calories of garbage food in a crinkly bag at school, from donuts to this cracker thing, or this Belvita thing, or the other day was an Eggo waffle thing. It's like, this is garbage. It's like 200 to 300 calories of just garbage carbohydrates that are dressed up to be healthy or a snack food. And we just don't want that. So step one, we plan ahead and prepare, right? So this is where we're at here in this. I hope you guys like this design. It was this health coach guy that, was trying to be a graphic designer and put this together a while ago. This actually PDF is, it's a good 10 plus years old. So it's still relevant today, right? So before you think about why this is important to you, before you do this, you think about why this is important to you, right? We'll go back to the first very conversation that we had together. I asked you, why is this important? For some people, it's like, I want to run a race, or I need to get fit for my kids, or I don't want to be unhealthy like my father and stuff. So we understand and reframe the situation to allow you to be successful in this area. Right? And then we make a plan and talk it over. So this is super important here. If you have family members or other folks in your household sitting down, and make sure you talk to them. Make sure that we are working with your family on this. You can't just come in and bulldoze everyone and steamroll. In a sense, you will have problems, right? Marital problems, relationship problems with other people. All right. Now, one really important thing to do is that you get to choose, is the power of choice in the first call prep video that allows you to choose whether or not you participate. If your spouse always eats ice cream at 9 p.m., you can opt out. You can just say, no, thank you. I don't want this. If you feel compelled to eat it, okay, but just know that, like Ben and Jerry's Rocky Road is like 1,200 calories in a pint. Not a good idea. But if you go to episode 137 of Driven for Health, then you have Nate talking about how he lost 25 pounds and he dropped his A1C 2 points and his blood sugar levels leveled out while having his friend famous pistachio ninja creamy ice cream recipe. And people line up when he would make it. So we have to find stuff to fit in with your family. So that's super important. So we can grab some trash bags, or we can just eat it until it's gone, and then we're good. Here we go. Prepare to encounter resistance. That's where Luke comes in with the Butterfree, right? Who here would feel the same way? Like, oh man, I need to get my Jedi mind tricks out to battle these foes, the Snickers, especially the Three Musketeers. Holy moly, let's get out our sword fighting action skills to be able to manage those three knuckleheads, right? So we have to make sure that we manage this stuff. Isn't this a waste of food, right? If it's junk, it's not really food, right? I think we can quantify that some food, like say Pringles in a can, because once you pop, you can't stop. That stuff is engineered. It's food science paste that got turned into a chip. At the end of the day, that's what it is, right? It's not a potato chip. It's not like literally a slice of potato fried. It's just some organic matter that they made into this chip that hits the taste buds in a way that makes it feel really good. So we have to figure out, we really don't want to eat foods with no nutritional value, and really have to step back from that and understand why we're doing it. And the question I have here, this is pretty funny looking back at this, is how is this different from dumpster diving? Right? So we don't want to do that. All right. The obvious things that we need to do: chips, the cheesies, the chocolates, anything that has an excessive, what we could call a calorie multiplier. Pictures here make a lot of sense, right? These things are highly calorie, high processed, ultra processed. They combine carbs and fats, sodium and sugar in a way that is hyper palatable, and you end up over consuming in a way that makes you fat, plain and simple. We have to watch out for frozen dinners, like Hungry Man or something. Some frozen dinners you can manage, like lean cuisine and stuff. I have multiple people doing wildly successful with just buying 2 lean cuisines, and that's what their lunch is, and an apple. Why? Because it has 40 some grams of protein. It comes out at like 30 carbs and like 12 grams of fat. Cool. We throw an apple in there, and now we're at like 50, 60 carbs with 40 grams of protein. Sounds like a pretty macronutrient balanced meal to me. So again, saying 40 protein, 50 carbs, and 15 grams of fat, that checks the box. And if that showed up as 2 lean cuisines that were higher protein, lower carb, low fat, and an apple, all right, that works. You can make that work. So takeout and restaurant leftovers, you really have to be careful, because when you allow someone else to cook your food, it is just silly amount of calories. All right, step 3, trick foods. Don't be fooled. So these are things that you really have to pay attention to. Most yogurts on the market are going to have higher carb until recently, right? The advent of Greek yogurt and a lot of, again, kind of coming into food science of manipulating things to have filter out the carbs in yogurt, allow you to then be able to have Greek yogurt. One of my favorite ones is Too Good Greek yogurt, and that is tons of protein, like 12, 15 grams of protein with 2 grams of carbs. What does that mean? You have Too Good yogurt versus Yoplait sitting next to you. With Too Good yogurt, I'm putting a cup or 2 of berries in there, and I'm going to equal the amount of calories and carbs that are inside the Yoplait that has like 15 grams of sugar. That's literally just looking at the nutrition label and understanding how to manipulate it. Here are the other trick foods. Look at this. 100% whole grain Chips Ahoy. Is anyone in this group here fall for this? Would anyone even buy this? This sounds like a horrible idea. If you're going to do Chips Ahoy, why aren't we just going to do the normal Chips Ahoy and have like 2 of them and move on? Right? Or the light ice cream. Light ice cream just means probably lower fat, that they use a skim milk type variety instead of a whole milk. It's just not going to taste as good. Now, certainly this can be a trick or a hack to get you to have a little bit more ice cream. But again, at the end of the day, the question would be, we went over it about 2 weeks ago or whatever, 3 weeks, this was the nutrition label. What's the serving size? How many servings are there? What's the calories, protein, carbs, and fats? So then you can assess if it's good. This one's great here. Oat and honey granola by Cascadian Farms. So this is a dressed up health company that has a granola. Who in here eats granola? Does anyone eat granola? I don't. I would not recommend doing it unless you're going to go run 5 miles. That would be the only time that granola would be a good idea. Why? Granola is very high calorie. It's carbs and fats, usually drizzled with honey as a glue, in a sense, to combine it. So literally, if you look on a nutrition label, a quarter cup of granola could be 150 calories versus a cup and a half of regular Cheerios being 150 calories. I don't know about you, but Brian over here is eating the cup and a half of Cheerios because we talked about it earlier. Let's eat the most volume of food that we can to stay full and manage our calories better. So I would heavily suggest you guys don't eat granola. It's not a good idea. Now, if you really want to pay attention to any of this, look at this. These are all more name brand things that are heavily marketed, and they are not on the outside of the store, right? They're in the middle or in the inside. Then if we just flip them over, for example, Nutri-Grain, for the longest time, I don't believe it's current, but for the longest time, the first ingredient was filling. So you're over here like, oh, it's a Nutri-Grain bar. It's healthy because it says Nutra in it and it says healthy on the front. And it's not. It literally was filling was the first thing. So we don't want to do that. All right. So right here, literally check the labels, look for forms of sugar. We talked about that. High fructose corn syrup. Now, just because a product has high fructose corn syrup doesn't mean it's like the devil or demon. But again, do you want all your food products to literally look at all these things? These are basic things that you see in the supermarket and you see in people's carts all the time, right? We don't want every single food that you have to be filled with high fructose corn syrup because it's an added whatever, or hydrogenated oils, or fractionated oils, or preservatives. We don't want our food to live in a bag for 2 weeks at a time. Yeah, put a living this is a really good one. Write this down. Eat things that were recently living. Like if you grew a garden, you chopped it off and you brought it inside, how long is it going to live and be viable until it withers away? Right? What is it? The McDonald's cheeseburger or something is the hamburger. It's like legendary to be, 10-year status and look the exact same or something, right? No mold, nothing. It just looks exactly the same because of the way it's been managed. Now, also, we want to make sure things like organic sugar, it's still sugar, okay? A fruit roll-up isn't actually a piece of fruit, okay? So let's not do that, okay? So stuff that you wouldn't even think about. So let's go. So the healthier options of the stuff are more trick foods. How much time do you spend thinking about barbecue sauce, right? These are things that if you want the tech shortcut that I have on dips and sauces and stuff, I can send that to you. We're looking for lower calorie stuff, but also hot sauce on everything's cool, or herbs, spices, seasonings that have low to no calories, or low sodium uh, salt shakers and stuff, like non-salt shaker, low sodium mixes. So like Mist Dash, which is actually just Dash that I learned recently in the last whatever, because I was looking it up for someone, but it's just Dash now, not Mrs. Dash. Maybe they went PC or something. And so they have no sodium type mixes that would be more beneficial for the majority of you anyways. Okay? You got to drink because I keep talking, and that's why my throat's sore. If y'all been on a phone call with me, y'all know I talk too much. My wife calls me out on it all the time. It's like, you talk like this to your clients all the time? Like, yeah. I'm like, rapid fire. Taekwon got an earful yesterday. I was like, hey, dude, just so you know, man, I'm coming in hot, and I did. So we had a good time though. So here's when in doubt, questions ask yourself. So these are good things to pay attention to. Does this food come in a bag, box, or plastic package? Right? Probably some sort of manufacturing. Does it have more than a couple of ingredients on the label? Think of Triscuits versus Wheat Thins. Triscuits have 4 ingredients. Wheat Thins has a paragraph of ingredients. Which one should you pick if you wanted a cracker? Triscuits, please. Do we need to have the Wasa crackers that are the cardboard thing? Probably not, unless you like those. And if that's what you enjoy, cool. Then that could work too, because they're probably going to be less processed and have less ingredients in them. I'm assuming that. So, you know what they say about assuming, but I think we could probably all assess that maybe a Wasa cracker would have a more minimal amount than a wheat thin. So if reading all the labels feels a little bit overwhelming, you just need to let me know, take a picture and share it. So here's a good one. Can you pronounce all the ingredients? If you can't, probably should stay away from it. How far away is the food from what it used to be? And do you even know what it used to be? Meaning the origins. Say ketchup is supposed to be a tomato. It's not a tomato. It's this red substance at this point, right? Depends on if, especially with like say Heinz or something, a very big manufactured thing. So is how far away is it from its food, or how far away? How like going back to the eat things that we're recently living. That's what the last one is. This food perishable? Just about anything good for you goes bad quickly, being the last one. All right. So foods, we always want to find alternatives. We're always looking for healthy alternatives no matter what. That's how we get to be successful in this. So if you want ice cream, cool, let's look for something else. And here's some ideas here. Processed salad dressing. The other day, I took a giant picture and put it in the group of the salad that I had. It was leafy greens, the non Taco Bell kind. Then we had a tomato, carrots. I think there may have been tomatoes in there. There was chicken, and I used the chicken juice as the sauce. So when I baked the chicken, I baked a whole tray of it. It was when it was raw, I put them literally next to each other. They were like laying on top of each other because I knew they'd dry up a little bit and the water would come out. So the condensation of the juice from the meat was in the tray, and I poured that into the container. So I had this own like natural beef stock chicken stock. And I used that as the seasoning or the salad dressing in a sense. And it tasted so good. I didn't need anything else. It was so good. Sugar laden or preserve laden sauces, salsa, unsweetened mustard. You know, the mustard seeds are actually low to no calories and they taste really good and stuff if you like mustard. So I actually have mustard seeds to put on different things to change the flavor or the experience that I'm looking for. So I don't eat food that doesn't taste good. And I would highly recommend that you too eat food that tastes good and not stuff that's boring, bland, plain, dull, or anything like that. All right. Cheap foods process upgrading. Instead of hot dogs, try some sausages from your butcher. Okay. So hot dogs in general, they are just, again, we look at the Pringles. This is the meat form of Pringles. It's just this goo that gets put into there, right? Who knows what's in that stuff, right? So should you be eating hot dogs in general? Like, how far away is it from what it used to be? So, or like sausages in a sense. Now, again, we always want to look at the nutrition label, and we can find some higher protein, lower fat sausages. Belin's, I believe, was the brand. So if you are looking for a sausage that could have a lot of protein, like 13 grams of protein with 4 grams of fat, that's a reasonably good protein to fat ratio. I could send it over to you and let you have it. Cooking sprays, extra virgin olive oil, the coconut oil, butter, or it depends on if you're, I don't really care about cooking sprays. And that I think they're just a healthy alternative, or a lower calorie alternative than olive oil and stuff. Healthy foods to restock. So we always want to eat, get rid of the things that aren't the best for us and replace them with better options. So you don't have to throw stuff away. All right. Kitchen clean out. Hey, if you do a kitchen clean out, send me a picture. I would love to see it. I hope to the Lord that it doesn't look like this, right? This looks like straight down 2 aisles inside the grocery store, right? And here's the wild thing is that the majority of these food products are going to be right in the middle of the row. Not at the top, not at the bottom, because these are big brand names that are paying for premium space at eye level or easy to reach with your hands. We're not bending down to the ground, or we're not reaching high on our tiptoes or something because they want to move their product and sell it. So that in and of itself will tell you if something is good or bad. We have the after fridge and after pantry pictures, right? That looks a little bit healthier, right? So those are stock images, but you get the gist. So here's some shopping lists for you. These are basic things that were on the What Food Should I Eat PDF that reinforce what the heck we are looking for doing and putting in your food. So there you go. That's a kitchen makeover. Let's get into some questions or any insights. I spoke a lot, as I already told you. I do. Who learned something, hopefully, or was reminded of something?
I just have a question. I saw the
Yeah.
smart food popcorn on there,
Yeah.
and I know you say you were going to send out the popcorn.
Yeah, I'll send it straight over.
So,
I'm putting it in the men's group on the text. So that's where it's
Okay.
going to be for everyone to get. So I definitely want to get more texting in the thing. I spent days thinking about what went into this app and when to put things in the app and how to put things in the app, like literally days. And I'm spending lots of money every month to have you all in it. So, I'd like to use it. So, go ahead. So
and
the smart,
the smart popcorn that was in. So what's considered? I guess my question was, what's considered the worst parts of the smart food popcorn? Because that used to be something I used to eat a lot, big time. Because I love popcorn. I switched to skinny pop years ago, but I was a big consumer of smart food because of the
Right.
the flavoring and everything.
Yep. Couple things here to dissect. One, let's just go from probably the worst is ultra super butter movie popcorn in a bag that you pop, right?
Yep.
What do they add? Oil and butter to make it super mega buttery and delicious, right? Those are bags are going to have about 400 calories to 500 calories in them, usually. That's not a good choice unless you buy the Smart Pop 100-calorie popcorn bag. Then, hey, it's reduced a lot of that mega butter in there, and there's just some oil in there to get the kernels to pop. You need something to facilitate the popping, in a sense, if you want to, say, cook it with oil or butter. But they have on Amazon silicone popcorn containers. They have single serving popcorn containers that you can put a small selected amount in of kernels, and they and fill that container up. And you don't need oil or butter to facilitate that. You put this silicone cap on top of it, and it steams it and it pops it, and then you have air pop popcorn. Certainly, you could buy the air pop popcorn machine and pop it that way, but that could be an alternative to then look at so I'm going from the worst aspect of the super mega buttered kind in a bag, or movie popcorn with the butter on the butter on the butter, right? With it, you just see. I saw one movie guy. Holy moly! I mean, this dude was a champ. I think he was getting in there like doing this and then twirling the popcorn container while keeping the popcorn in the thing. I mean, he had this thing going on like as a circus show. And it's like, wow, this dude has managed a lot of popcorn containers in his life and buttered them. And he knows that he's an expert butterer to get every butter on every single kernel are popped in there. But so we go to the other side of having that silicone popper on Amazon that pops air popcorn and makes a single serving. Then we get into some of these bags of popcorn, the Smart Foods or the Skinny Pop. We can have those. We're just going to look at the nutrition label. How much calories? What's the serving size? How much fat is associated in this serving in comparison to the carbs? In general, popcorn should be universal with carbs. There shouldn't be more from one brand to the other because it's literally just popcorn, but the fat might vary. Now, you can have popcorn that you buy in a bag and they have single serving ones, or see Ryan. Or thanks for joining, man. So the single one, or you can get the big one and break it up into serving sizes. But then guess what? Like, Bon, it just goes back to the serving of how much popcorn should you put in your mouth in relation to how many carbs and fats you've had in the day. at the end of the day, that's the brass tacks to it. So you could have mega movie buttered popcorn with the guy that knows how to do spin it which way and that, and still be fine. You just have to eat like 2 handfuls and you're going to have like 300 calories. Whereas you could probably have 10 handfuls of air pop popcorn in comparison with the calories in a sense. So that would be the ultimate thing. Now the flavor seasoning, you can do popcorn wildly different ways. I have done it in the silicone containers with cooking spray to get it wet. And then I will put in a variety of herbs, spices, seasonings. I've even put cinnamon and sugar in there, or powdered sugar to see how it tastes. Or my daughter puts in rosemary with some oil, olive oil in there, and salt. So like there's 1,000 different ways to make it taste differently. And there's a variety of different ways to go with the popcorn itself, depending on how you want to do it. So long-winded answer, does that help?
Yeah, it helps.
All right. So what is your choice on popcorn? I'm not saying don't eat popcorn. How do you make popcorn work for you? Because it is enjoyable. It is low calorie on its own. It does have fiber on its own. It can be a useful tool to eat at certain times of the day, like say Netflix and chill time, to not overconsume calories if done an appropriate way.
Thanks for marvelous.
Yeah, I usually don't eat. I usually don't put seasoning on anything. So, and
Okay.
if I do, it's Mrs. Dash or it's Mrs. Dash. But
Yeah.
I don't really season my food. I'm one of those weirdos who don't season my food. So
That's fine. No, but popcorn. Let's go back
Yeah.
to popcorn. That's
Yeah,
what we're talking about. So what do
popcorn, I
you
don't.
do with popcorn? Are you going to eat plain popcorn? Are you going to do skinny pop? You're going to do smart food pop? Like
No,
what?
I do skinny pop.
Okay.
Yeah, I do the single serve bags. from
Okay.
Costco.
Cool. That makes it easy to track too, right? You scan the
Yeah.
barcode and it populates and boom, there you go. So we can use things in crinkly bags to provide some level of convenience. I will just reinforce, we went over it on the nutrition label thing, is that nutrition labels can be 20% inaccurate. FDA allows that. So just want you to be aware, plus or minus, up or down. They're usually not going to be more most of the time, but they could. So you think you're getting this 200 calorie serving, it could be more. Usually it's not, but just to be aware of. All right.
All right.
Cool. Great question. Does that help answer it and give you action on what to do with that?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, skinny pop single serving bags. Thumbs up. Brian approved. For sure. I'm gonna go with kernels and my silicone thing so I can just eat a lot of it. Not that there is a big difference between skinny pop and that, but there is. Let me just look it up here real quick. See if there is a big difference. You guys don't want to see what my desktop looks like. It's something. All right. Skinny pop nutrition. All right. So one serving, it says 3 3/4 cup is 150 calories, which kind of goes along with what I was saying with just popcorn in general. Popcorn is about 30 calories in a cup. So this is a little bit more. There are 10 grams of fat in it though. So let's pop open this here. Yeah. Wait. Is this? Oh, this is original and cheddar. Yeah, this isn't the one we want. This is a case. So yeah, not the one we want. Here, let me share this screen window. There we go. I like to look at, say, Walmart for nutrition labels, not Target. because Target usually doesn't do a good job of sharing the nutrition label. Can you guys see this?
No,
Do you see it on the screen, the label, or no?
no, I can't see anything.
All right. Am I sharing the main screen though?
Okay, I can see it now.
All right. All right. So we have this is blurry. Let's see if we can just do better. We gotta do better than that. Not good. All right. Can you see this one here? This good? Can you see that?
Yep.
Right. So there's 3 cups, 150. So it's 50 calories in a cup, 10 grams of fat across 3 cups. So each cup has approximately 3 grams of fat. Okay. So then we're going to compare it to popcorn, air pop is the keyword nutrition label. The keyword search is what we want to do. Here it says 31 calories with 0.4 grams of fat instead of 3 grams of fat for a cup. So 3 cups is 90 calories as opposed to 3 cups being 150 calories. Big picture, negligible, right? In the bigger picture. But if it comes in a single serving bag, then we know it's roughly 150 calories. So, or you could eat basically 6 cups of 5 cups. You eat 5 cups of air pop popcorn, and as opposed to 3 cups of skinny pop for the same amount of calories. So there you go. That's the jig here. I'm going to lean personally. I'm leaning more toward the air pop popcorn and figuring out a tasty way to make sure it tastes good. I'll eat it plain too. So, but most of the people in my house aren't going to eat it plain. They want butter on it, like a quarter or more stick of butter on their popcorn. So that's what 4 kids want. So there you go. Any other questions? You can come off mute. Did you learn something today? Anyone let's do some takeaways. Excellent, Ming. Yeah, let's do some takeaways. What are some takeaways that we learned today? Anyone? Joe, what did you learn? Oh, you out. You're the only one unmuted right now. So lucky you.
I'd always heard about shopping the perimeter in the grocery store, but it's been interesting the part about not looking at the middle when you're in the aisles to make sense. Because I realize companies pay more for that premium placement. So yeah, that was something I hadn't heard before.
Yeah. Okay. So good. Who else? Brent.
Yeah, I think it wasn't so much that I learned it, like I knew that if it's like really easy to get your hands on, you're likely to do that. And I got in a really bad habit because I cook a lot, that I'll come home and while I'm cooking and trying to cook something healthy, I'll be eating, chips and salsa or potato chips or grab a bar or something like that because I'm really hungry while I'm cooking. So I've already you know, used up a lot of my calories and things like that before I ever got to the meal. And all those things were like within arm's reach of where I was cooking. So really good reminder.
Yeah, right. Definitely. Good. All right, awesome. Then Dex, any takeaway you got?
Yeah, man, you can pretty much make anything healthy out of just grabbing stuff out of the fridge.
Yeah. Last meal you posted was pretty good. I didn't-
Yeah. I grabbed a bunch of stuff tonight because we were busy. I had Alyssa made a roast. So I had like 6 ounces of beef, about a cup of mashed potatoes, and about 2.5 cups of green beans.
Yeah. Yep.
So filled me up, and that was good.
Yeah. Good. Good. Excellent. That's great. Awesome. Well, that's all I got for you guys tonight. So thank you so much for joining, and off we go. Okay. And
Yeah,
Joe,
thanks, my friend. Thanks, man.
Joe, we'll just text after here. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
See you guys. Thank you.
Later,
Thanks.
Gators.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed our episode today. Maybe I had to slow down to 0.75 because I just talk so fast. That's just me. I like to talk. I like to share. I like to inform and help people out. And that's what we did. So again, if you want the kitchen makeover PDF, just email me at brianandbrianparana.com. If you actually need help implementing this stuff to step up to be the man, the father, the leader that you want to be, leave the legacy of being a healthy, fit individual that people respect on a lot of different fronts, and you need to lose some weight and get your blood panels in better health, then let's go. theculturize.com and check that out. And our first thing, we literally speak on identity and nutrition and fitness, and we go into really allowing you to actually implement this stuff in the best sound way. So that's it for this episode. Look forward to the what to order series coming up here. And the next, I want to think this is a next episode of 144, or it might be 145. I might change my mind before I get to record it. So who knows, but it's coming. I have a lot of episodes ready to go. So there's the teaser. Off we go.